contribute, if that makes sense, right? And then I'm a big believer in affinity space, in affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people.
Welcome to the Dark Times channel. Before I begin, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you enjoy the content on this channel and you've been watching for a while, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so this isn't going to be a very long video at all, but it's a story that I came across the other day. I'm going to go ahead and let it play, and then of course I'll chime in.
Truly see it. So many organizations have the diversity question, if they even have one. And it's one question with no weight, and no one on the hiring committee even knows how to assess a good answer. So if you see it as a true qualification, you'd be willing to say it's a failed search, and we'll go again, but we're not going to settle for less than what we say we value. And then I think, all right, I can do that, right? I can at least go for that and not expect that I can get everyone. But what I want to do is create a culture that actually spits out those who are resistant, as opposed to what it does now, which is spit out those who want to break with white solidarity and contribute, if that makes sense, right? And then I'm a big believer in affinity space, in affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
And so I don't think Miss Robin DiAngelo said anything wrong at all. You know, regardless of the reaction of Twitter and some of the people on social media, you know, here's one guy right here. He says that Robin DiAngelo is sounding like an old line segregationist. And I think that's interesting because almost every other group that comes to America separates themselves from everybody else. And this is something that groups have done since day one. So my question is, why is it when people talk about black people separating themselves from everybody else and forming their own communities, why is it's usually a liberal that comes in and says that it's wrong? No, you can't separate. You're not supposed to separate from us. We need you close by. We got to keep an eye on you Negroes.
We must have separation in order to have freedom. And to get all of this, we have to have some land to do it on.
You know, there's a lot of reparations talk going on right now.
They're going to be getting a check. What if they're of mixed race background? Are they getting a check? So how do you possibly disseminate? You know, you could be, you could have slaveholders in your bloodline. Are you getting a check?
Do you honestly believe that you're going to be welcomed in a lot of these well-to-do neighborhoods? And everybody was to receive a large chunk of money, a large portion of money. What do you think that looks like? No, forget about the neighborhoods. America, period. Yeah, forget about a neighborhood. You know, a lot of y'all have a new car right now that you're afraid to drive to work because you're afraid that you're going to get passed over for a promotion. He's got a car like me. Car looks like mine. I might be paying him a little bit too much. Whether it's true or not, you know, a lot of y'all may feel this way, and you have the right to do so based on historical evidence. You know, during Reconstruction, it was the same thing. The so-called black people that had been let out of slavery had a lot of the skills that so-called white people didn't have at that time. They had been doing free labor. They had been doing the carpenting. They had been doing the farming. They had been doing a lot of the building within the United States. So most of the so-called black people had all the skills. And because they had all the skills and they were going to do the job more efficiently and even cheaper in most cases, they were doing quite well for themselves in their own communities. And this is the main reason for the rise in the Klan. If you think about it, the Klan was all based in jealousy. A group of people within a dominant society got together and said, these people over here have too much. We need to do something about that. We need to make sure that there's going to be enough resources for us. We need to stick together. That's the number one reason for the Klan. A group of people saw another group of people doing a little bit too well, and they started doing something about it. And so these are the things that we need to consider, especially if and when reparations gets passed. And so what Miss Robin DiAngelo spoke about separating was absolutely truth to power. And that's something we need to absolutely consider. And it's like I said, this wasn't going to be a very long video. I just came across this post and I thought it was very interesting, and I thought it was right on time with everything that's going on. So definitely let me know what y'all feel and think in the comment section. And I'll definitely try to be active in there. And as usual, peace and chaos.